Hi. Get ready to take your workflows and business processes to the next level with the groundbreaking conversational language model, ChatGPT. In this course, you'll dive headfirst into the exciting world of generative artificial intelligence and discover how to wield ChatGPT like a pro. This course consists of 2 chapters, which are Interacting with ChatGPT and Adopting ChatGPT. ChatGPT, by OpenAI, is a conversational language model, which means it can answer questions or perform tasks that yield a text-based response. This may not sound much different to a standard chatbot, but ChatGPT is much more than that. Standard chatbots are usually designed to return a predetermined response to a limited number of questions. ChatGPT is far more generalizable, as it uses its understanding of language to interpret the question or task and determine the most appropriate response. This means that ChatGPT has a wide range of potential applications. ChatGPT is an example of a generative AI model. Generative AI is a subset of artificial intelligence and machine learning, where a model creates new content based on patterns and information it has already seen. In ChatGPT's case, this generated content is text, but other models exist for image, audio, and even video generation. This is how ChatGPT works. The user writes a question or instruction, which is more generally called a prompt. This prompt is passed as an input to a large language model, or LLM. LLMs use complex algorithms to determine patterns and structure in language. These patterns are then used to interpret the prompt and generate new, relevant language in response to it. Finally, the generated text, or response, is returned to the user. Let's see ChatGPT in action with some examples. ChatGPT is great at summarizing text or concepts for a particular audience, which is useful when summarizing reports for different stakeholders or interpreting complex information. Let's write a prompt to instruct ChatGPT to summarize GDPR in simple terms. ChatGPT responds with a summary that contains very few technical details or jargon while still capturing the key points. This is a good start. However, the summary is quite long. It would be better if we could boil it down to 2 key sentences. We can ask ChatGPT to do just that. Notice that we don't have to instruct it to summarize GDPR again. ChatGPT will actually remember the information and context from earlier in the conversation. The ability for ChatGPT to remember the conversation history and for the user to provide follow-up corrections to responses are 2 extremely powerful capabilities of the model. Summarizing text or concepts is pretty cool, but ChatGPT can also perform more creative tasks, such as creating marketing content. Let's ask ChatGPT to write a tweet encouraging people to acquire data literacy skills. This tweet is pretty good. ChatGPT came up with a catchy slogan, "Data is power," considered Twitter's character limitations, and utilized hashtags and emojis to be relevant and engaging for the audience. ChatGPT is also impacting how software engineers, data practitioners, and others write code. ChatGPT is able to generate template code, explain why code isn't working, and even make suggestions for improvements. So why should we begin implementing ChatGPT into our workflows and business processes? ChatGPT is able to perform many time-consuming tasks with greater efficiency. Using our own expertise, we can then verify and finalize the responses. This workflow of AI doing the legwork and a human providing the finishing touches saves a substantial amount of time and money. Take the example of using ChatGPT to generate marketing content. This will allow marketers to focus on more complex and nuanced tasks, such as deciding what to market and to whom. Although ChatGPT is a valuable tool that can perform a huge variety of tasks, there are some limitations to be aware of to use it effectively. Inside ChatGPT, all of the magic happens inside the large language model. The LLM interprets the prompt and generates relevant text in response based on its understanding of language. To understand some of the limitations of ChatGPT, we'll first need to delve a little deeper into how the LLM works. Imagine we've been shown a large and complex building block wall, and then we've been given a new, incomplete wall that we have to finish off by copying patterns in the large wall. This, in essence, is how ChatGPT works. When developing ChatGPT, the LLM was shown a huge amount of text data, which is like the large building block wall. From this data, it builds its understanding of the structure of language by looking at the frequency and order of words, which are like the differently colored building blocks. The data that the model learns from is called the training data, and the sheer amount and variety of data used to train ChatGPT is a large part of its success. The model itself used complex algorithms to detect these language patterns in the training data, and it was fine-tuned through iterative processes that included rating the quality of the responses. So when we provide a prompt to ChatGPT, it is essentially trying to complete a building block wall, using its understanding of the training data to generate the words that are most likely to follow the prompt. This leads us to our first limitation. ChatGPT was trained on data up to a certain date, and the model isn't connected to the internet or other external sources, so it isn't aware of events beyond this date. Another limitation is potential bias in the training data. ChatGPT was trained on a massive text dataset from a variety of sources, including books, articles, and websites, but this data could contain biases. The model may learn these biases and produce biased responses. ChatGPT has the ability to build on information and context from earlier in the conversation, so follow-up corrections can be made. However, if the topic of the conversation shifts multiple times, ChatGPT can struggle to keep track of the context and generate inaccurate or irrelevant responses. A good rule of thumb is to keep a conversation to one topic and create new conversations for different topics. Another common issue when interacting with ChatGPT is hallucination, which is when the model confidently tells us inaccurate information. This often occurs when attempting to go beyond ChatGPT's knowledge cutoff or abilities. In this example, we asked ChatGPT to summarize the LinkedIn profile at this URL. Instead of telling us that it isn't able to open URLs, ChatGPT confidently provides a summary of entirely false information. Let's discuss a limitation on what the user can do. Consider this situation. We ask ChatGPT to write a new song in the style of our favorite artist. ChatGPT generates a song that resembles the style of this artist based on the song lyrics that were present in the training data. But who owns this new song? Is it the user that wrote the prompt, the artist that wrote the original lyrics, or OpenAI, the owners of ChatGPT? It's easy to fall into one of these legal gray areas if the use cases for ChatGPT aren't properly scoped so that ownership and legal implications are well understood and accepted. We'll discuss ownership and privacy in much more detail later in the course. Now let's talk about how to write effective prompts. Have you heard the phrase garbage in, garbage out? This has never been more appropriate than with using ChatGPT. If the prompt we provide doesn't contain sufficient context or isn't written in an easily interpretable way, chances are it will lower the quality of the response. To begin forming a set of guiding principles for writing effective prompts, let's discuss how ChatGPT interprets prompts using an example. Here, we're asking ChatGPT to write a job description for a data scientist based in New York. First, ChatGPT identifies the broad topic of the prompt. In this case, the phrases job description, data scientist, and New York help the model identify that the prompt is about a job description for a specific role and location. Next, ChatGPT attempts to understand what the prompt is requesting. In this case, the verb, write, and job description indicate the task being given to ChatGPT. Data scientist and New York provide additional context to help populate the response with relevant information. Finally, the response is generated. This isn't bad for a first draft with little specific context. More context could be added to the prompt for greater personalization, such as key role-specific skills and company culture information. Let's use this understanding to begin thinking about best practices for writing prompts. Prompt engineering is the process of writing prompts to maximize the quality and relevance of the response. Prompt engineering is a whole topic in itself, so in this video, we'll present the foundational best practices to get the most out of our ChatGPT prompts. The first guideline is to be clear and specific. This sounds like common sense, but we need to ensure that the prompt contains all of the necessary context to create the desired response. One common ChatGPT use case is asking it to summarize a passage of text. In the prompt, we should specify roughly how long we want the resulting summary to be: one page, one paragraph, or even one sentence. Second, keep prompts concise. This means removing any unnecessary information or linguistic frills that don't provide extra context for the task at hand. These extras will only dilute the important information and keywords. Finally, use correct grammar and spelling in prompts. ChatGPT uses grammar to interpret the task, so make sure to include it in all the right places. Another way to superpower our prompts is to provide examples. In many cases, this is a much quicker way of providing extra context than writing a comprehensive explanation of the desired results. For example, let's use ChatGPT to create a list of example customer names, ages, and occupations that we can use to test our internal systems. We want the results in a very specific format: the full name and age separated by a comma, followed by the occupation in brackets. We should provide an example in the prompt so ChatGPT understands exactly what we're asking for. In our prompt, we specify the instruction and also provide the example: John Smith, 34, and builder in brackets. Because of the example, ChatGPT outputs exactly what we want and in the format that we wanted it. Thanks for watching. In the next video of the playlist, we'll learn about common use cases of ChatGPT to begin streamlining your own workflows. We'll understand how to evaluate a use case as a suitable application and consider the legal and ethical implications. Finally, we'll learn about the key factors that will decide the future of generative AI models like ChatGPT. Like and subscribe to stay updated about our upcoming videos about artificial intelligence. See you in the next video.